Okay. Hello, Internet, or whoever's really watching this. This is the 4th episode of Nano Plays Games on the GameCube of Wind Waker. And I kinda took a bit of a holiday, I guess you could say. I wasn't feeling too great during the last episode. It took me a minute to get my courage back up to go here. But we are all good now. So on Searchlight. So I kind of want to change up the formula here. I'm not too worried about entertaining people anymore. That obviously isn't my thing, as I've come to learn. So what I'm going to try instead is I'm just going to tell stories of my life in general. So, one second, just got to check on the volume. I have a very, very deep voice, and I have to put the volume up high so people can hear me. Alrighty. Jump this rope. Yeah. Okay. So, where should we start? Well, at the beginning, of course, but where at the beginning? Where at the beginning? Okay, so I was born, by the way, well, let's just start with the basics here. My name is Ian. I think I can say that without getting in trouble or anything like that, without people stalking me all over the place. And let's see, I was actually I guess I can give you guys, no, I won't even give you guys, I was born in March sometime, okay? Early March. Yeah, give me that stick, you fool. I'm just gonna slap a few times. Sure. Come here. Come here. And I was actually born prematurely. There we go. I was born about a week or two early. Came out all yellow. You know how babies do. So, one thing I find interesting was they had to keep me in this incubator thing. And actually I have a picture, so I'm not lying. This is a true story. I lived it. And they put me in this briefcase-like thing. So it was this little briefcase. You lift the lid. It's got lights in there. You put your baby in there. You don't carry your baby around inside the briefcase, though. That's called child abuse. Don't do it. And what you do is it basically, well, make sure baby not yellow. So, I grew up in a smaller town, I guess you could say. It wasn't super big. We don't have any skyscrapers where I live, even now to this day. Never really lived in any huge towns. In order to reach the top of the tower, your sister's being yelled. You have to find the room below the tower. Okay. Yes, I've got that. Thank you. Anyways. So, first house, I don't remember much of this. This is all stories I've been told from my parents. Was this little apartment. It had an upstairs and a downstairs, from what I believe. And I don't know much of it, memory-wise, but all of you guys are going to laugh at this and think I'm mentally retarded, but I was actually dropped when I was a kid. Not when I was like a little baby toddler. It was right when I was starting to get the bearings to sort of walk. Like those little baby walkers, you know, you put your kid in there. It's got like big, it's hard to explain, but you know, baby walkers. And I kind of was walking around, and for some reason we didn't have a gate over the stairs. I don't know, I'm the first child, so I guess my parents were still learning, and I decided that wouldn't it be great, in my little toddlerish mind, to go on an adventure down the stairs. So I went down the stairs, and I hit my head about 3 times or so. No problems, nothing. Nothing bad happened, I'm still fine to this day. Mental capacity is great. I get good grades. Not mentally slow. And that's when I lived there. Later, we moved to my grandparents' basement. My mother's parents, if you will. And their house was awesome. My grandpa made it himself. It's this big red brick house. And being at my grandpa, and he's really good at being a craftsman, he built little secret things here and there. Like, there was a small brick you could pull out of the wall, and it held your keys for you, basically. You could pull out this brick, there's a small hole in there, you can put your spare key in there, and no one would be the wiser, because this brick fit in nearly perfectly. Anyways, that's a bit on that. And we lived in this basement for about 5 years. That's where I remember the majority of the things happening in my childhood was in this basement. And I didn't really do much there. I mean, it was fun. Big, huge backyard, pecan trees out front and such. Oh, and as such, this episode's going to be longer. We're talking 30 minutes here. I know, it's going to be painful. Just hold on. And I always had fun there. I didn't have very many friends, though. I had my next door neighbors, who were my... Ooh, it's showtime. Pick up my sword, pick up my sword, pick up my sword. Ah, come on. You got back the hero sword you dropped. Now you're in business. Taking care not to drop it again. Take him out. And jump attack. So he's gone. Drop nothing. Jerk. So we lived in that basement for about 5 years. And the only friends I had, I've already went over this probably. I'm going to go over it again just in case. Who calls right now? Telemarketers. Mute it. There we go. Sorry, that was very unprofessional. I'll be quiet. Such a cute little cutscene. That's a big bird. Oh, it's so sad. It is the return of Ganon. Pajama Sam! Hey. Pajama Sam! Wake up, Pajama Sam! Pull yourself together, Pajama Sam. And... bam! Dim cat eyes. Well, have you come to your senses yet? You are surprisingly dull-witted. And... scared the crap out of him. Did I startle you? I've always imagined him as like a Scottish man. I'm the boat if one can speak the words from me. He can speak. He's the king of red lions. He's flipping awesome. My girlfriend slash artist for the channel, she actually made a sculpture of the King of Red Lions. Check her out, Golden Torch 4 on DeviantArt. You can find it there. You obtained the power of the gods, attempted to cover land in darkness, was ultimately sealed away by the very power he hoped to command. He is the very same Ganon, the Emperor of the Dark Realm and the ancient legends speak of. I do not know why the seal of the gods has failed, but now that Ganon has returned, the world is once again being threatened by his evil magic. Tell me, Pajama Sam, do you still wish to save your sister? Of course. Will you do anything to save her? Yep. Family values. I see. In that case, I shall guide as you go forward, advising you on what you should do and where you must go. Ganon cannot be defeated by human hands, let alone what little strength you possess. Oh, that hurt. That work out. That you can wield only after much toil and hardship. Do you understand? Yes. In that case, we depart to the Great Sea. Ah, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This is actually a bit embarrassing for me to admit, but although I'm indeed a boat that possesses the power of speech, I possess no sail. A boat with no sail can sail no seas. I brought you far to the east of the dark gaze of the forsaken fortress. On this island is a town of merchants who deal in a wide variety of goods. If you search hard enough, surely you can find one who will sell you a sail. I am sorry to ask this of you, but without a sail I shall be useless to you. This island of merchants is home to many valuable goods. While the sail must come first, do not feel limited to buying only it. Once you have it, feel free to stock up on anything else you think you may need. But remember, there is no time to play. Come back here immediately as soon as your errands are done. Yeah, but what fun is that? Okay, so going where I left off. I lived at my grandpa's house, and at the time we didn't have too much. My dad was going to not to med school, nursing school. My mom was going to rad tech school, and my dad would work during the day and he'd go to school during the night. Hey, little piggy, avoid that guy. And so basically, my dad, I only saw in those few hours between work and school when he was sleeping or doing homework. My mom was... Yeah. Well, basically, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. They're awesome people. I love them to death. Hello, Tingle. Oh, my appearance does not surprise you? Then you, sir, must be a fairy, just like Tingle. Goodness, did you feel my telepathy? That's why you saved me, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Do not worry. Tingle knows without you. Telling him, sir. Yes, sir. Tingle's my name. I've been looking for you and your kind, for I, too, long to be one of the fairy folk. Yet I was mistaken for some kind of troublemaker and put into this dreadful sort of place. How disrespectful. Please, Mr. Fairy, rescue poor Tingle from this place and take him to where you and your kind live in splendor. And we lived in that house for a while. A few good memories there. But after a while, my parents, they finished schooling and they got a job over at the hospital at the town next over. It's maybe like a 30-minute drive between these two towns. And violence. And we have the Tingle Tuner. Our souls will be as one. Yeah, itchy eye, sorry. So I'm just gonna keep on talking over this narrative. If there's an actual cutscene, I'll shut up. But anyways, we moved to this. It's a bit of a smaller house. It was, I believe, it was 2 really small bedrooms, a master bedroom, and 2 baths. So it wasn't bad, but the backyard was minuscule. I kid you not. We got a trampoline one year, but we forgot to measure it, and it wasn't a big, huge trampoline. It was a smaller one, but we couldn't put it in the backyard because it was 2 feet too big. That's how small our backyard was. It was right against the back of a mountain, and they dug into it. So why am I going in here is the question of the day. I already have the camera. Anyways. And so we lived there for about 5-6 years. And I had a great time there. Went to 2 different schools. Sunset Elementary. I think I get the names of the schools. Well, I'll pass. You know one of the schools. I'm not talking to you. I don't even know why I am. Anyways. Ugh. Sorry, this window... Stupid Apple software updates. Is my sound even coming on? Hello? Hello? Okay, I don't want to. My name is Metal Beer. Now listen to my tale of woe. I'm just kidding. Alrighty. So we moved there. And one thing, my parents... So, during this time, I forgot to mention, before I moved out with my sister was born. My sister, I'll just call her sister, not gonna expose her name. And what ended up happening is that she was born right before we moved over, which is also why, because in this basement, it was only 2 apartments. And my parents didn't feel the need for me to share a bed with my sister when they're just getting this new job that pays more than nothing, which was what we were pretty much getting before. Let's go play a game. It's open. And... yes, we'll play. So, what we ended up doing is... Sorry, it's really hard to focus when he's being spazzy. So, this is pretty much Minesweeper, if I remember right.
Splish! Kaboom! Splish! Kaboom! 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 Splish! Splish! Kaboom! Splish! Splish!
So which one do you just kind of play some randomly here?
Splish! 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 Splish!
Who's this guy?
Splish! Splish!
Oh, I missed him just barely. Anyway, so we moved to this new house. And this was probably one of my favorite places I lived growing up. I had tons of friends. It was awesome. We won't play again. Losing money on that. I had a great time. But the thing was, I couldn't be left home alone either. So I would be constantly sent over to my grandma's. And my grandma's was a bit of a nicer place, so I couldn't really do much. So she did have a game room though, and that's pretty much where I ended up living when I was being watched by my grandma. She had an N64 with a copy of Ocarina of Time and various other games like... I'm trying to think. Diddy Kong Racing, yes. That's one thing I remember playing a lot. And she also had a Super Nintendo, and I played that a lot. I always loved playing Ocarina of Time. It isn't my favorite game of all time, but I played a lot. You'll see in a bit what happened. My grandma one day, she felt kind of bad for me. I couldn't really go anywhere. So she ended up purchasing for me a copy of Majora's Mask right when it came out. It was super awesome. Came with the expansion pack, popped it in, loved it. Played that game to death. I still have my original copies. You'll see why there's 2 copies in a minute. So what ended up happening is I, in my butterfinger little hands, one day when I'm going back to my parents, my grandma would let me take this game between my house and my grandma's because we had an N64 too. I just never really played it because there was not really any games I was interested in. Super Mario 64 was It's an awesome game, don't get me wrong. It was just... it just didn't capture me when I was a kid. It was just too... I don't know. I was more of the adventure, not running around jumping kind of kid. Even though I'm doing backflips for no reason right here. Okay, how much does the sale cost anyways? 80. Let me find 80 rupees here. So, one day, I was going home, and right when I was walking up to my door, my grandma was walking up to the door, I dropped my copy of Majora's Mask, and it cracked in half. It wasn't broken, just the back faceplate broke off, but she thought it was. And I can't remember who, but it was either my grandma, or I did not know I could talk. Okay. Didn't know I could talk to you that far. I am really running out of places to go and find money here. I am really thinking here. Let's go explore up here then. There's just not much grass to cut. Where? Cash. Money. So, yeah, take it home, cracks, then someone, I can't remember who, buys me another copy because they think it's broken. So that's how I get my 2 copies of Majora's Mask, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I played that to death. I've beaten it, I think 50 times, and I've completed it 100% like 3 or 4. Ah, sorry, itchy nose. I'm seriously looking for money, I'm not good at multitasking. Ah! I shouldn't have played that stupid game. Let me break this guy's pots, see if I can get something for him. You little weasel. Yeah. So that's one memory I have of video games. And after living there for a while, I eventually got a GameCube for Christmas with the Wind Waker on it. Now this was also special to me. One of Wind Waker is my favorite games of all time because this was Ian's game. It is Ian's system. It was just mine. It is awesome. I still have my original GameCube. It died though. I'll explain that probably in a later episode. But what ended up happening is I played it and I still love it to this day. It's an awesome game. Very awesome. I don't know why they gave it an HD, but I don't know. Nintendo. Still love them. So close to rupees. Anyways, I'm still not focusing too well. Anyways, so I got that, played Wind Waker on it like there was no tomorrow. There was Super Monkey Ball 2 on there, which was, it wasn't Zelda, you know what I mean? It just didn't fill the void. I didn't feel the void of my needs. That was creepy. I swear there's a pot in here or something. Pot. I need to find some pot. 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 Where are you, pot? So, anyways, focusing, I am so sorry. I will get better at this as time goes on. I just get so distracted. We're the Beatles and we're jerks. I shouldn't have played that game. Look a pot, finally. Please have money in you. Ah, perfect. We can buy the sale. I'll buy it. I get the sale. Alrighty. Alrighty. And I played that a lot. I also had a Game Boy. Another thing I played a lot. Yes, the art of sailing. It's not much of an art, just a bunch of button pressing. Yes, okay, the siege shot. Yes, it is magical. Okay. I will do that. Thank you. Let's go. This is the part where I can just kind of let it go and tell stories. Okay, here we go. Point it that way. I'm gonna set the controller down and just talk. Ugh. So, where was I? Yes. So after a while, we had my little baby brother on the way, and his story is also an interesting one. They did blood work on him to make sure everything was going to be okay, and there was actually a 50% chance he would be Down syndrome. And that kind of scared us. Don't get us wrong. I know a lot of people who are Down syndrome. They are fantastic people, so full of love, they're amazing. But we just didn't know if we could do with it financially. My parents just, where we live, it costs a bit more to live. It's more of a retirement community, if you will. That's kind of what the place is based around. And anyone younger just kind of, you know, yeah, it's mainly the cities are focused around retirement. We have a ton of freaking golf courses here. It's annoying, and I don't even like golf. But, so we get this idea. My grandparents, the ones who own the house that I live, the aforementioned brick house, moved out to Oklahoma to live with my aunt, my uncle. Well, not live with them, live by them. Kind of spend time with them. And the cost of living at the time was, this was before the market crash, PS. The big, huge recession thing. And we're like, you know what? We can sell our house for a decent price, and we can build a really nice, like, 2-story house out in Oklahoma. And we'll just buy some of the property from Grandpa and Grandma. They said that'd be okay. So we go out there while we're waiting for a house to sell. And we waited. We went there for about 2 months, and I hated it there. The schooling there was... The school system there was a lot more advanced than in Utah where I live. On my 5th grade spelling test, I kid you not, photosynthesis. Photo-flippin' was a spelling word. And it was just a pain. It was so hard to learn everything. I should have just recorded this and done a voiceover. It would have been so much easier to focus. And it was just miserable there. And after 3 months, we're like, you know what? This isn't the right thing we need to do. We need to... Let's go back to Utah for a bit. So we went back to our house, which never sold while we were gone. So we went back to our house. I was so happy to have my friends back. But going to 5th grade there, my teacher, because I was ahead of everyone so far, the first 2 months I was there, I pretty much was told to sit in the corner and read. Because I already knew all the material and then some of what we were going over. You know. That's a pretend sound. Alright, I'm going to close this episode in a bit. And so I pretty much just sat there and did nothing. But my friends were there and it was all good. And I think it was like not even a month later, my parents were like, hey, we found this new house. And it's still in the same city, just on the other side pretty much. And it's this nice little house, and like, it's within our budget. It's a really nice house. It's got enough room for everyone. And as it turned out, Derek was born right before we left for Oklahoma, and he wasn't Down syndrome. So we could afford it. Everything would be fine. And so we moved here, and when we were about to move to Oklahoma, I was so not happy. All my friends were here, and I was still angry. But for some reason, moving on the other side of town, even though I would pretty much not really ever see my friends again, while looking back on it, I didn't have any gripes about it. I was fine with it. Everything was good. So that happened, and yeah. My goal is just to get inside here, and then I'm going to call it an episode, so don't worry. We're almost there. Gotta make some progress in this game. Because my goal for the dungeon one is still to do what I said. Bring my girlfriend on to be the tingle tuner. Ooh. I'm a Frenchy Rito man. So we move over here. And I think this is as far as I'm going to get, but it was a little hard at first. All my friends kind of made fun of me, and I didn't really have any real friends until I met Stu, my best friend to this day in 7th grade, and we've just been buds ever since. So come inside, Pajama Sam, we're going inside. That's the postman from the very beginning. I'll get inside and we'll call it an episode. Alrighty. So I should probably tie this up. Anyways, we're still living in the same house today. It's an awesome house. I love it to death. Many great things. But I guess we're going to be going the later stages of my life, which I have more details and stupid stories I tell about myself. I guess we can actually go on a bit long. You guys don't mind a 35-minute episode, do you? No, you don't? Great! Thanks for agreeing with me. So you're Pajama Sam, are you? Yes, I am Pajama Sam. Let's go save the weather. I have a problem with you. So, moving here, best friend Stu, and I had a bit of a hard time growing up, you know. I was different. All my friends, they were like the people who played, when they played video games, it was like FIFA. Let's play FIFA. And I don't know, sports games, they aren't my jam. I cannot get into them. And I'm just like, no one wants to play Zelda? Okay, I'll be a loner. Be loners. And I was pretty much alone in my hobbies because Stu, he was more of a hunter kind of guy. Outdoorsy and stuff. I don't know, if you put us on a list side by side, you would think we would not get along whatsoever. But somehow we do. And yeah, pretty much Stu was my only friend growing up. So I'm also going to mention one thing that's probably going to eliminate half of my subscribers if I had any. I go to church every Sunday. And no, it's not a cult. I'm going to start by saying that. And I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly referred to as Mormons. Note, not a cult. We do not sacrifice people. No. No, 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 no. No! So we gotta go pick up our letter. Okay, and I don't want to go much into it, just, that's what I am. Don't go saying stuff and post it in the comments. It's what I've been, it's what I've always been, and I believe it. Okay? And yes, we don't worship Joseph Smith. We do believe in Jesus and Heavenly Father. So, don't... I've seen so many people like, you can worship Joseph Smith, and they seem so firm in that we just sit around an idol of Joseph Smith all day. And I have yet to have seen a statue that I worship, that of Joseph Smith. In fact, I don't worship any statues, now I think about it. Yeah, I don't worship anything like that. I worship God by going to chapels and stuff. If anything, it's like a normal religion, just, I don't know, I want to say a bit stricter on things. Anyways, I'm not going to go too much into that. I don't want to make this a whole religion, fire, and damnation. Yes, okay. Take this to Prince Kumali. Next episode, we'll do a bit more reading of this stuff. But that is all the time we have today. Thank you guys very much for watching and for putting up with my shenanigans. I'm going to save, hitting A with the yes right now. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. If you don't. If you think there's something I can improve on, write it in the comments. If you feel like showing this to your friends, share it. If you don't. See ya. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.